Hi, this is some footage I took from my visit to Kuala Lumpur in 2013. I'm not entirely happy with the footage because my day in Kuala Lumpur, the weather was a bit overcast, so it wasn't ideal for filming. So this is the KL Tower. So I was on a bus tour and I stopped off here to go and climb up here. And I was going to go up the Petronas Towers at night, so I'll come back to that a bit later. So the views you can see here are very good, but you can see it's slightly hazy as the further you go back. So you know, it's very impressive. So I've taken quite a lot of shots here, and I'm going to leave them in here for you to have a look at. So Malaysia is the first Asian country where I've rented a car and I actually went driving around the country. So I had about a week doing that. So I've been up to Cameron Highlands and Penang, and I've been across to the east coast and been on one of the island beaches, very nice. And then I'd driven back to KL and left the car at the airport. So I took the very impressive high-speed train into central KL and eventually found my hotel reasonably easily. And then I had the whole of the next day to go sightseeing. So I always take the opportunity to go up high buildings if I get the chance. I've done a few more times, and you can see in the background there the Petronas Towers, which I decided to leave till the evening as the very last thing I was going to do on this trip. So I'll come back to that again, as I said, later, because I've got a few things to say about that. Anyway, the view from here is just as good as the Petronas Towers, of course. So I have been up, when was the last one I went up on the same trip? When I came out, I went up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So that was very impressive as well, which is the highest building in the world. I was trying to find out where the Petronas Towers was in all this, but it's not very clear how high. It was the highest building in the late 90s, but it's being surpassed now. But it's still the highest twin buildings in the world. And you can see below they've got their own monorail system in Kuala Lumpur, a proper one. So they have one in Sydney, and I've got the film of it, but I read they've basically demolished it. You can see the monorail here. So I did have a go. I think it is the monorail. It may be the metro system, but the monorail is coming up in the next scene. So it's quite rare to see a monorail in a major city. The only one I remember going on one in Japan years ago, and I think that was quite near Tokyo. So I don't know if that's still there, but that was like a 10-mile ride, and that was pretty cool. And then there was one in Sydney they used to have, which I've got a film of, but I read they demolished it now, which went around the harbour. So here you can see in action here. So it's actually quite small. The trains are quite small. So I think it was only one loop line, as I remember. I'd have to check that up. So I was using the monorail system to get back to the hotel kind of like mid-afternoon, because normally I go back. You get tired when you're out being a tourist all day, and so I go back mid-afternoon, have a rest, maybe a swim if there's a pool at the hotel, and then go out in the evening. So that's what I was planning to do in Kuala Lumpur. So as I said, I was leaving the Petronas Towers to the last thing, and I'd seen it the night before when I came in on the train. You could see it all lit up, and that's really what the problem with the Petronas Towers at night is, and what you're going to see in the film. You're going to see what the problem is. So this is the sky bridge about linking the two towers about halfway up. So this is where they bring you first of all to have a look at the views. And it's fine, but the problem is it's dark at night and the building is completely lit up like a Christmas tree. So you can't really see out. And also when I was up, it was a torrential storm. So you'll see this in a moment. So looking out, you don't get those good views. It doesn't. This is, you know, the film shows you exactly. It looks like Blade Runner basically. So the advantage was we were in a storm, and you can see the lightning. It was very impressive because normally I'm a bit scared of storms, and I'll stay indoors. But you can see here it's really impressive, you know. And there's a section coming up in a moment where basically the building was struck by lightning. And I'll talk you, and I've got a separate film for just that sequence, but it's in here as well. I've put it in as well into this film. So my advice is, if you're going to go up here, it's well worth going, but go up during the day because you can see a lot more because you won't see all these reflections, because even the camera, what you see on the camera is what you see as well. Anyway, it wasn't a total loss because something exciting happened, and and I caught it on film. This sequence here, I'm going to stop speaking and you can witness it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are calling for the first group, red pass. This group is. The lift is ready.
Exciting, eh? Not many people get struck by lightning. Okay, it's not something I want to do every day, but it really, in the real experience, it really kind of like you could feel the vibration and the sizzle in the air. It was really kind of like whoa type of moment. Anyway, they take you up to the very top, and it was still raining. You can see here that it's even worse. So it really kind of like affects the view. So I was, you know, when I went up the Empire State Building in New York, the first skyscraper I ever went up to, you could go outside and you could see, and it was night time, you could see the Manhattan skyline. It was fantastic. So this is a fantastic skyline, but it was just because you can't go outside and because of all the lights lighting up the building, I think it's best to go during the day. So I had a very good time in KL. I enjoyed it very much. Hopefully I'll get a chance to go and see it again. It's been maybe more than a day there. So it's on my to-do list again. So I'd recommend it as somewhere to visit. I enjoyed Hong Kong and Singapore very much, and Japan and China. But Malaysia, I've got a soft spot for it, I have to say.